Hello everyone and welcome back to PSGL F6. I'm your commentator Brendan and I'll be taking you through the action today. We are almost to go into qualifying, so we should be getting into the good stuff straight away. I am not joined by Felix. He will be covering for F4, so you will be able to see him there, but please just stick around. We will have some good action here. We are here tonight for Spa-Francorchamps. It is the longest circuit on the F1 calendar, 7.004 kilometers. But I do believe if you take the right line, it may be a few meters short. It might just be under the 7 if you take the perfect line. And well, it is the longest track on the F1 calendar. We also had the shortest ever race last year. Obviously, we did have the 2021 Belgium Grand Prix won by Max Verstappen, but there was only 2 laps of racing of driving and none of green flag running, so it was just a fairly anticlimactic Grand Prix. Thankfully the weather can't be so bad that we would get the same here today, but we are now here, and speaking of the weather, it is wet for qualifying, much like the Belgian Grand Prix qualifying of last year. It's not exactly perfect conditions. Full wets are in order here. I must say we're probably weighing it, but one thing about this qualifying is means we are going to see people out on the track for most of the session, unlike in the dry, where in the case, given that it is the longest circuit, your outlap is so much longer that you barely would get 3 runs in. So you go on board with McLaren here. As you have to see, Eau Rouge. Oh, already a bit of trouble. As Eau Rouge isn't just a flat out and think that it would normally be in these Formula 1 cars. But as I said, you've got to brake a little bit for Eau Rouge and uphill and then up to the top of the Ferrari on. We have people out on track. This means now we're going to see everyone probably fueling up, get a bit, maybe 7 laps of fuel or something. Maybe not quite 7, but maybe 5, in order so they can then just go and the laps, and then you'd be able to find a little more grip with each lap, as it often is in the wet. You see, last season in real life F1 we had George Russell P2 in qualifying as Williams, qualifying Hamilton in the Mercedes, and pretty much everyone else except for Max Verstappen, who was at the claim pole, pretty much by default the win. So most people out on the equal cars, so it's all. So we will pick a driver to go on board with. We'll just see. I think we'll take Joker who's going to start as first man to go and set lap into turn 1, the source. Get your braking wrong and you'll probably feel like Nico Hulkenberg. And the wet here is fairly smooth, which is what you'd want for a first lap now. Down towards the left Eau Rouge and then up the Ferrari. Very smooth there. Just holding the speed through onto the Camel Straight. This is where we would have seen. Here comes Sebastian Vettel, but you see, we won't be passing anyone here just yet. Now until they come the 5, 6 and 7. It is a prime spot for an overtake, but it's very much a spot the Chuggers is trying to just tiptoe around now into, I believe, maybe Bruxelles. Just hanging around now into no name, which is, even the runner actually has a name of no name, it is a bit of an oxymoron. Now down towards Puon. Just slow it down, get the turn in, and then just make sure the rear doesn't step out. Just get him Stabilo. Take your time. Watch us out with the curbs. It depends on what line you take as to how you manage it. And now through. That's towards sector 2. As we park on into sector 3. It is very much power oriented as is sector 1. Sector 2 is where you have to make the time up if you have more downforce. So through Blanchimont you have to take a little more care there than you would if it was dry. Now the bus stop, it used to be much faster than this before 2000s, the mid 2000s, but they did changes. So now you have to tiptoe your way around a little more. And now come to line 2 with a 1. So yeah, obviously this will be. So now if we do watch some other times being set by the drivers. Elias I think is just starting a lap. But now Monty Yarno invalid, so that won't mean much. Now to Lewis, to see where he can go. He did very well in wet qualifying last day. Yep, he has gone a second just over a second faster. And now Galfrey 202, and then Sam 2 minutes 0.28. So 1.2 seconds faster seems to be the order of the day so far. Well, Nico's just had 2 minute 19, but I'm assuming that there was a little bit of an off on that lap. We are certainly not reaching the lap record of 1:46.286 set by Valtteri Bottas in 2018, or the pole record from Lewis Hamilton in 2020. So we are about maybe 20 seconds off the pace here, but obviously we are going to get a little closer. If I can, I will tell you Max Verstappen's pole time from last year. Just for a little bit of reference, although that was on the intermediate tyre. So now we've got Mercedes 1-2. Similar to do apologise for the delay there, but honestly, Jokers is now on pole, first person into the 1 minute times. 1 minute 59. Oh, won't be invalid, and it'll be very moment. Just saying, Verstappen, he was on the inters and set a 1:59.765. So we could be reaching times. Lewis is now back at the pole. Sim 1:59.5, but Lewis is now really starting to ramp up the pace here. 1:58 reached already, so these times could be really improved upon. Lewis had a little bit off there on the route. I'd say he would probably just have to have a cool down lap now, especially just to build up some ERS. Maybe go back to the pits, then go out again on another set. Oh, Jokers! Sent round Puon, you just can't touch the curbs. The curbs here are very sensitive, and this crash at Puon is not exactly the nicest feeling. You could just ask Antonio Giovinazzi that. Daniel has managed to split Sam and Lewis, goes P2. Not too bad for the Mercedes driver. It seems like in this case the Williams is behind the Mercedes driver in the wet qualifying at Spa, not the other way around. we are we have 15 lap times so far, but well, we still have some people that need to set a lap. Sebas went on the intermediate tyre. Now, that is a bold call. But if it works, it could be a very good move. Is if you are used to it, then that experience will really help you in the rest of the session. But at the moment, it still looks like it's a bit wet at the moment for now. His Inter's times will be about 4 or 5 seconds faster, from what I know, but they'll be close to the low 150s. So now we will keep an eye on the times. So Lewis in the pit. Jerome has went up into third. Leave last week's race winner, but I will get you last week's race results now while we do have a little lull. If you just give me a second here, I should be able to find them. So last week actually, Carl, see your results from last week obviously were Carlsbury won the race, Jerome ended up second, Philip third, completed the podium in third. Then you went from the other Jerome, who's not actually here today, but yeah. Then followed by Kench, Leon, Nick Kench and Elliot, Daniel, Nico, and finally Jarno. So we have Inters for a lot of drivers here. Jockers has went back in divisional pole, so it seems to be flipping and changing between Jockers and Lewis. So, with Lewis on the Inters, and it looks drier, or well, less wet. Mind you, it is still a bit wet here. But the Inters are going to be a very good tyre now, I would say. But, could be wrong, could be commentator's curse. Could be also be a commentator's foretelling it. If I am right, but that is the case. See, last week we had a so it's Nico got 5 seconds to his lap time, Leon got 5 seconds removed, so did Philip. Carlsbury got a 3 second remove, so that ended up giving him the race win. Obviously, if you remember last week, Miami was absolute chaos at the end with a disconnect for Jerome just before he was about to do a restart, and that caused absolute carnage afterwards, as nobody could really have comfort, and it was ultimately Carlsbury who was managed to come through and secure the win. Obviously he had to get to the stewards to make sure the penalty points were removed, but the penalty was removed, but that is it. Obviously it was a case that he had to take avoiding action, and by consequences warning was deemed to be unfair. So now as these last runs come in, is anyone going to maybe pull off a shock here? It's been between Chalkers and Lewis and Daniel for most of this session. But and Lewis is around at the top already on, and well, it's not the worst. At least the car's intact, and you have an opportunity to go again. Probably warms up the intermediate anyways, I suppose. As obviously there will be a little cool as you're just in that transition. Because as the inters require a bit of a higher temperature, as that Seab having a bit of an off. So now we need to keep an eye on the lap times here. Most people are in out laps. Everyone's decided to inters are to tire. And now Carlsberg, you can see almost half a second up at sector 1. It is looking very good for Carlsberg. These inters are starting to work. Oh, little bit of kick out from the rear, but sometimes a little bit of sliding can help. It just gets the car turned in. Oh, as you see, just the rear end just wants to kick out a little there. Some of these guys may be running dry setups in order to... that's Dan on the pole position. 1:57.7. The inters are definitely faster. They are. That is a 1.1 seconds of an improvement. So McLaren 1-2 as it stands. Well, McLaren's in ballot, but it is an outlap. Lewis is backing off. You might want to kick on here before the Mercedes arrives. And looks like good job. Well, Danny Wall's on an outlap, so Lewis now will begin his lap. So now turn 1 source, try and hit the apex if you can, but most importantly get a smooth exit. This exit will determine everything for your well, turns everything about your sector 1 to drive, but you do slow down there a little for no route and radion, so it doesn't mean to be all or end all in the wet. Now down to Kevin Straight. And still at 3-9 in the wet conditions. No aquaplane. It is inters. We should be alright. Through Licombe. You're not doing too bad here. And as you'll probably be finding that you're gaining time in most corners, you just want to keep it smooth, because a little mistake and you could miss out on some valuable time gained. To No Name now down towards Pouon. You find yourself able to break down a bit later, on the power a little earlier, be a little more pushy with the throttle. And now braking here, right hander. So again, you kind of want to keep tight there, so it'll open up the second part. Seb, 1:56.1, the times are dropping, 1:56.2 for Dan. So the Williams and McLaren very much going at it. Oh, that's Carlsberg. Carlsberg is off, and that could be and that's a big mistake. And you see Lewis, he's just keeping it steady through Blanchemont, and it's cool, man, up to third. Not too bad for is the Red Bull driver. And Lewis goes on to pole position, 1:55.6, 5.7 for Keko. So the times are dropping. There's less than half a minute to go in this session. You might have to hope the lap you're on is good, or do you get to the line on time for one more go ahead? Because one more go here could be the difference between maybe 4th and 14th. Elliott goes to 4th. He's a couple of seconds left. You have the Alpines of it. Nico has just got there. And then you see Chalkers. Chalkers went on to provisional pole, but he's missed the line. And that means that is qualifying over for Chalkers. It could be Terra Racer only 16th. He's in the pits. Now to Jarno. What can he do? Can he put the AlphaTauri up a bit further on the grid? At the moment, it's still in the 2 minutes. 54.55, 5.5. It's good enough for second. At the moment. Now we need to wait for I believe it's Sam, who was on provisional pole earlier in the session. He goes on provisional pole again. It is 1:54.6. Now And that's the McLaren. But then it's only 5th. So now we must move on to the Red Bull. Schoolman in a second up. This would be 55.7. That would put up a couple of the places, but there's time to be gained here in the last sector. It's good enough for second of the grid as it stands. But now we must turn our attention to the AlphaTauri Lewis, who's invalid. Oh, that's unfortunate for Lewis. It could have 4.3. That would have been pole. Daniel's got no such problems. Mercedes is up into pole position. Michelle up to 6th. Drone up to 3rd. With a purple last sector. And Keklin's still remaining in 2nd here. That's not it. As you just see, the times are dropping down. Elliott up to 4th. Skyline is up in the pole position. So that is an extremely late lap, but it has gone pole position for the Alpine. Tunetank ends up getting into 10th. So not too bad for the Aston Martin, but here's your qualifying. Skyline right to death. Stuart pole by just around 4/100th of a second. Daniel completes the promo for Mercedes in P2, followed by Keko in P3 in a Ferrari, Jerome P4, Elliott P5, Sen P6, Mentor P7, Keed P8, Kuhlman P9, Tronics P10, Chalkers is P11, then Save is P12, Nico's P13, Michelle P14, AlphaTauri is not good, DA for P15, 16, Yarno and Lewis, then at the bottom of this grid is Dan, Terrace and Calisbury. Terrace and Calisbury didn't get time on the board with the intermediate, so it was never looking too good for them. The margins here are up this drive. See, the margins are so as in PSGL. Someone like Lewis, who was at the front of the grid for most of this session, but missed invalidation at the end, pretty much said that sent him right to the back of the grid now. It's, you know, it is unfortunate for you, but one mistake can kill you. And given in tiers that are so close as PSGLs are, especially in the middle, as you have a lot of people who are around the same pace, so one little mistake could just be punished. But also, if you get absolutely right, as of the Alpine qualifying, we are going straight away. It is going to be lights out. 5 red lights. It is lights out here at Spa-Francorchamps, and we are racing. So let's see. Skyline got the start he wanted. He's on the hard tyre, so maybe not. Daniel on the medium, using them to his advantage, and he is through. And he's going to clear off here. As you can see, there is a mix of strategies here. Most people still go for the hard tyre. Skyline from 1st down to 3rd, but can he use the toe? Maybe, but you see Elliott in 4th with the softs. He's just going to pull behind. But now you see Ferrari Gecko. Is he going to go to the left, to the outside of the cone? Don't do it, Rosberg and Hamilton, lad. Oh, this. And Gecko's had to be squeezed off the track, but oh, these two continuing to push each other. But now look, Elliott. Elliott's had a goal on the inside here, and with these softs, could well get it. Yep, Elliott's true. He's using these softs as advantage. And the tyres are up, and oh, that's Lewis. Well, I thought that was Lewis, but it is Chalkers down. Chalkers, one of the drivers who was at the front for most of qualifying, is now down at the back of the field in the race. Oh, that's Tunetank. Tunetank is dropping places, but not for his sake. It isn't actually dropping because of a spin. As around the outside, oh, Schoolman, it's the Red Bull, just pushing too much in the hard early doors. Oh, that's multiple cars off Yarno and Cansbury, so a lot of cars off, but no one really getting damage. Just probably people pushing. Oh well, speaking of damage, I believe Dan has a end plate damage. That is going to compromise this race a lot, especially after the new updates where front wings are now a lot more sensitive to damage. Oh, but Lewis is in as well. Oh, I think Lewis was caught up in something there. Didn't look quite like it, but that means the AlphaTauri into the pit straight away, probably hoping for safety car. Oh, both AlphaTauris. The Arrow's going to have to wait here. So now Elliott and all that took the lead and has this top three have pulled a massive gap. As now you see Jerome, last week's P2 finisher, is now ahead of Skyline, and so the pole sitter is down to 5th in the and we haven't even got around halfway on lap 2. This is a, if you would, anyone would have I've known of or remembered that in 2010 you would have seen Mark Webber drop down multiple places at the start. Well, that was a common Mark Webber team, and I wouldn't think it is something the Skyline will be doing too often. So Elliott going to have to try pulling a lead here, because these softs, you already get double digits of wear in qualifying once you do out lap, hot lap and in lap, but in the race now when you're just getting a full fuel load. Oh, Daniel's he's half spun it into bus stop. It's very easy to do, but now you see Keane starting to harass Michelle. Oh, that's Dan. That's Dan dropping places. And I'd say Dan's got to come into the pit lane. Yeah. Oh, the same with the other McLaren. It's bad out for both McLarens here today. You do not want this. Oh, you see, Michelle Nopi Key. Michelle using them softs to his advantage. Oh, they sound and see how just watch the contact there. So close. Even up the front, I see Daniel now. He's now dropped back into this second bunch. He's now having to fight off with Jerome to keep P3, as opposed to maybe being right there for P1. Okay, cool now. There's a golden opportunity here if Elliott's tyres start to die off a bit. We are going to have to... Oh, that's Lewis. So it's gone from bad to worse for Lewis McWilliam. It could have been pole position, but instead now he ended up starting on the 8th row, and that's actually Terror Racer who spun it there, and then you just see the button. Everyone hit past him. It's just not really good for Terror Racer, who is a staple of this F5, F6 sort of area. Now we have to see Keiko in a Ferrari at Spa with maybe some slipstream. Obviously he has the earth inside as well. Are we going to see it here? Here comes Sebastian Vettel moment. Not Keiko isn't going to be there just yet. Doesn't look like he's got enough to just slipstream Elliott, who probably has a lot of straight line speed. The setups here could be, you see wings very low. Skyline struggling to pass Michelle, but honestly I think Mullen Skyline, who was on pole position earlier in the race. Keane has picked up her first time penalty of the race, so that will be crucial. So Lewis into the pits. It is not looking good for him. Only good thing about this track for him is that at least... Oh, he's retired. Oh. And that is unfortunate for Lewis. He is our first retirement. Let's see Keiko. It isn't a gamma straight, but here comes Keiko. Really, he's surely going to go for the bus stop here. We have to see. It's not like 10, 15, not like 20 years ago where it's just a flash again. You can't really make the move at, from where you'd be bracing yourself for turn 1. But it's going to prepare to move. Just hang back a bit. Get the exit out of the source. Use a little bit of DRS just to here before a route, because if you can gain just time through here, as you see, it's around 2.5 tenths. Here comes Keiko. Let me get the move done easily. It is very much an easy move for the Hardyman here. So that is Keiko into the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix. He has now got a big chance to start pulling away Daniel. Yeah, still P3, but now I'm thinking maybe should I have been the one there in the lead. As Lewis that he had rear wing on floor damage, so I do think if the time was probably on the basis of I can't really compete in this race no matter what happens. Looks like Keiko is almost pulled a second already. We have to keep an eye here as we are getting a bit of a DRS train headed by Michel on these softs. And then the CF is a little bit back, but he's still in said train. Oh, CF, and with the sliding, you have to brake so much and then turn, so it often means you need to make a handbrake turn into the bus stop just to get the car rotated, but sometimes a little too much rotation and you just screw off so much speed, you'll probably just get past. So now you see Skyline, our poles, the man who was on pole for this race, but now he's just going to try and start going back a place or two. He's pulls to the left, easy move for the Alpinas, almost 3 wide. I can do macros onto if you will. Well, that's Chalkers out in the session. Is that in the pits? Oh no, he's crashed there. That's a peculiar place to crash if I'm honest, and it's somehow not Bravo safety car because he is right on the track. So that is 2 people who were very good in qualifying. Now out of the race already, 0 points for either of them. Oh, that's Tronix. Tronix Michelle. That's a safety car. Michelle, oh, these two definitely just a little bit of contact there probably. That has cost them their races. Oh, Michelle, who had done such a brilliant job to hold position, but now you see everyone to the pits. Keiko, Elliot, Daniel, Jerome, Keane. Sam stays out. Sam's going to take the lead of this Grand Prix. And I think Sam will be gambling on another safety car, because he thinks that getting medium to the end will be too much of an ask. And admittedly, they could well be a bit of a stretch to get them there. Yeah, so now Simple H will also stood out. We have medium runners in Keen, Skyline, Nico, Calisbury, CF. Well, CF is on hard. Tire racer, Yarno, Dan. The hard tire is a very nice race tire once you get it fired up. So now, on the obviously safety cars, it is, obviously we saw a good bit of that last year, where obviously the entire race was done on a safety car. See now some people on a bit of a compromise strategy, if you know more a bit like Gasly and Perez a couple of years ago, where they just got caught out with an early safety car when they were on different tires and had to stay out. They did manage to secure points, but in this case here you would very much struggle because the field as close as you have here, you're going to fall. You are going to just fall down the order unless you get another safety car which will benefit you. So now, we probably will have safety car in this lap. Important to get a safety car restart here right at spot, as you could get slipstreamed if or never mind, because Ben was disappeared. I think that's just a game lag. I do apologize for this sometimes. This game can be funny. So on the safety car, see now we're probably overtaking spots here. If you can't slipstream, if you will be until they come, or maybe the bus stop. Sometimes turn one, but you might want to wait. Also here in Nolly, if you're Alex Albon, you might just do it, as he did it to Daniel Ricciardo in 2019, as he came from the back of the grid to P5. So you could do it to a route as well. Mark Webber, Kimi Raikkonen and Pierre Gasly would know all about making moves into the old route and radio. It could be to the left or to the right. Yeah, make your choice. Now see, you do have to watch it. A crash or no route is something you could very easily do. But if you are, you can see hard tires. Now we are in this lap, so safety car is in. And we'll now actually go in at the end of the sector 2. So now Sam, who hasn't made a stop, is going to need. Is actually while we were looking at the safety car, Mercedes did pit for medium, so they've decided to take the pain now to serve their stop. Sam, on the hand, believes he can perhaps, well, maybe just go on ahead. Oh, he's got a good restart, maybe. Is he tried to catch him out early, but it hasn't really kind of worked in the way he would have wanted. But I suppose it would get a bit of temperature into the tyre. I suppose, you know, decent gap for the start, so through the source. Now to see, Will Kecko, who is our net race leader, will he be able to make some moves early, or will he be bottled up here? as it could be very easy to just not be able to pass, and then you would feel like then you'd very much be under pressure. As actually Keane is going for the move in the Red Bull. Cool man, he's got it done. Cool man, who is down these hearts as well, so it's not looking good for the Red Bull here. So now you see, nope, it has been a kind of restart. Coolman keep it ahead of Skyline, who's now on mediums and probably feeling a lot more comfortable. So all the ERS to play with now. You just see, as you see, Skyline is all over the back of Coolman. He's probably now seen why the probably seeing how the others felt trying to pass him earlier on in the race. But now he's as he actually side by side, Keane and Daniel. Keane using their mediums to brilliant effect, and now is passed. But Daniel Hart are going. Well, the hearts of everyone here is going to fire up in the next couple laps as Coolman keeps it at the Skyline. The Pullman trying to pass the Red Bull, but the Red Bull is putting up a fight at the moment. Then hard tires will be up to scratch by now. I suppose a safety car wouldn't have done them any harm. As you see, Keko is past Sem, so Sem's defense of the lead was very short-lived. Now you see Elliott. Oh, the absolute slipstream by Keane. Keane out. That's another Ferrari pass to the camera straight. You'd think there was two Sebastian Vettels here, but in this case, with Keane, you will have made the moves here. So now Elliott, now obviously he knew how good the soft tires were for him at the start, but now he sees how the hard tires really feel. Good news for him though is the next two behind are on the hard tires, so you won't have to worry about medium runners until the. Oh, we have AlphaTauri off at Jarno. That is not a good day for the AlphaTauris. Not a good day. Yeah, so. No damage to Arno though, so he can maybe just hope that another safety car does come to bring him back up to the pack. Keane now is going to go for the move in Sam, and can he make it? A Ferrari 1-2 on the track. Will have to be moved to the bus stop. You're not Verstappen and you're not doing the move in Launchman, but you are going to come around outside the bus stop. Oh, but he's went a bit deep. Williams, Sam has managed to. Might have just been a little more sensible with the brakes. Has just been able to get back past, and now all that's done for Gecko is just allowed him to build a 1.2 second gap. Now you see ERS being used for Sem, but Sem's been able to keep the ERS, so that is crucial. As Jarno is out, but that is in the pit lane. Keane now makes it Ferrari 1-2. Much easier. Ferraris tend to like the camera straight overtake. As now you see Elliott trying to pressure Sem as well. Then hardest will be up to scratch. But now he's got Daniel also behind. You see, well, Coolman's been passed now by Skyline. It did take a couple of laps, but the Alpine has passed the Red Bull. Now it's up to Skyline to see where he can end up next. He will need to make good use of his mediums while they have the grip they do. It will wear out here, especially with how long this track is, so one lap will take a lot out of your tyre and your tyres. You see Keane now pushing, but he's pushed with most of his ERS. The good news for him is the Sem is now basically allowing him to scamper off along with his teammates. So at the moment it is a Ferrari 1-2 if this was real life, you would be expecting a Ferrari to throw it away somehow. As you see, Elliot, Daniel, they are somehow going through each other, but Daniel has managed to get through. The ghosting system working wonders there. But now you see Skyline, he's went for in La Source, but that hasn't really worked. Now he's just going to tuck in and see what it does. And see how close he's going to get. You just see, he's just going to be so easy. Yes, Elliot's got DRS, but Skyline's much closer. The slipstream is more as Keane is actually into the lead now. One Ferrari swaps with another, and you might see Keane scamper off while Keko stays behind, because then, well, Keko doesn't really need to do much. He needs to wait for them for when the mediums drop off. It's nice to see Cosbury, last week's race winner, making moves. So, and the Red Bull is just not enjoying it here. Hasn't stopped for a new tyre, but so I don't think they're happy. You see, Sam and someone are the only people who are still in the race to not have them stop. So now, if you see here, it is very close behind Sam. I see it's clearly just not have, it does not have the pace now. Everyone else feels like they could get past, really. So McAllister is past Jerome, so McAllister up to 7th, last week's race winner, making some moves. Alpine right behind the Mercedes. Mercedes who's right behind Sam. Somebody's got to make a move here, and I think Daniel will have to do it here. You get such a gain here, just straight, just as DRS onto the straight. Mercedes is through. The Williams staunch defense comes to an end. And Skyline is closing up on the braking, but it's probably going to have to just witness Daniel scamper off into the distance, and just really hope that the mistake's made and he can then stay with them. At the moment, still with a penalty, so he can make a move here in the next lap, or even at the bus stop. It wouldn't be too bad for him. Oh, that's someone off this. Nico's off of Pouon. No, it's Mercedes' teammate. That's a safety car. A huge accident. And that is safety car, so everyone's going to... That means Sim now gets to make a stop. I have to see now. People are probably going to stay out here. The soft won't make it, but well, the hards will definitely will. So Keane is pitting. He's getting off the medium. Keko stays out. Daniel stays out. Sam, Skyline, Cosbury thrown in. Some of these medium runners are taking an opportunity here. They feel like it's a worthy gamble. So we have to see what tyre it is now. It's back onto the hards. That's a bold call from Keane, but it does mean I really see them hards can get to the end, because now you're asking for much less from them. So everyone's lining up behind it to get softs for Skyline Calvary, and see it. That's a bold call, but it could work in all fairness. And as meanwhile, while we are here, we through the penalty count. Penalties it's not attract you and associate with penalties so much, but it is very easy to pick them up here if you're not careful, especially in the exit here, the 7, particularly when qualifying into validations. In the race, not so much. So 3 seconds for Dan, 6 for Keen, 3 for Skyline, Chaos Queen CF, and 3 for Terror Racer, Skullman, and Simple Edge 4. So that is your state of penalties at the moment. See a couple of people at soft, some people going back onto hard tyres, and others going for a fresh set of the mediums. So here we are. We are almost with another lap under the safety car. It is a... Oh, Elliot's in pits. Elliot, I think, is going to gamble on the soft tyre here, because not much other reasoning for a pit stop than this. So down to the end of the pit lane, it is a soft tyres. Elliot, obviously you've got brand new softs. And you can warm them up. Obviously it won't take too much to warm up soft tyres, because they'll be fired up very, very quickly. You could also wear through them very, very quickly here, but with the small fuel load. So now we are usually when the safety car is in, it does mean it will be at the end of sector 2. If you see in the track map, the line is there just on the exit of the next corner, and you're waiting for it. It does mean you have time to prepare. You just gotta warm up these tires. It is difficult to do warm up. We've had one restart before. Like his controllers, and when I got an okay start, Keiko was fast very, very soon. Now it's Keiko's turn, but this time, if I would be annoyed, because he had a very easy win on his hands here, but now he's got to deal with someone who is on the correct strategy per se, and also there's soft runners behind that could easily make something of this. Then you have Sem, who's now on mediums, is arguably on the best tyre for now. But then you see Keiko, he's holding it a little longer. It's gone, so hasn't quite got the restart we wanted. You see Daniel very, very, very close. So now Mercedes will be trying to slipstream the Ferrari down towards our route. We already have Mercedes spun, so one Mercedes at the back, the other Mercedes trying to get to the front. You see how close Daniel is. He's going to pull up behind, pull to the left, pull alongside, and then just really pull ahead, being squeezed with Keiko trying to make it. Oh, that's it. That is hard but fair defending, and so as Keiko is able to keep position. Meanwhile, as the soft runners have not made the gains so far, but in Sector 2 here you might see them able to take advantage, although these tires will be warmed up. As you see now, Keko survived that first attack. Then both of them using the ERS through the left-hander Apuan in order to keep with each other, or to get away in Keko's case, because you don't want them near you, even into the bus stop, because the bus stop is a very good opportunity for them to drive. So now let's see, and no one really making a move except for Sam, who's waiting for it straight and Keen. And Keen's at... And you just see here... Now Keen's be past the skyline. Sam up to 5th. So now up to 6th, using them soft tires as well. Mind you, it's gonna have to make a move in Sam as well. But Sam will be looking for Dan, who's got 7 lap older mediums, and will be very worried against the end. Oh well, it should get to the end, as that is one Mercedes retiring. The other Mercedes, not so close this time, probably missed an opportunity there. Just Keko's defending was enough. Sam's really got the best tyres now for this end. Oh, that's Elliot! Elliot's off there. Oh, that's a peculiar. That's before they come. And that's another safety car. Oh. What do you do here? Late safety car to Spa-Francorchamps. And you'd have to say that anything's on the table here. You could go in for soft and but you are going to drop to the back. Oh, that's Dan. Dan's out with the safety car. He's dropped it. He's dropped under safety car. He's dropped a pull on. That's so strange. Just seeing probably an opportunity to get a pit stop in. So now those who are on softs, now, they'll get to the end, sure, but do you pit again? Do you go for more soft tyres? If you're on the hard, what do you do? Do you go for a softs and think, alright, I could be in trouble here, particularly as Sam is now on these mediums. This safety car won't be long. What do you do? Keko stays out. Daniel stays out. Jerome stays out. We have some of the soft people. Carlsberg, Keen, Terrace and Pullman all into the pits. Arguably, if some of the others knew that, they might have pit themselves. Now it's very, very interesting. You've got those at the front have the track position, but they have the oldest and worst tires. Then those at the other end, they don't have track position, but they have the softest and best tire. Well, the youngest tire as well, mind you, but that is very obvious. You don't know what could happen here. The fastest lap at the moment is, I do believe that lap belongs to Keen, 146.2, presumably set on that medium stint. So now, do you see everyone at the back here has penalties? I think that's probably come into the thinking of Keko, Daniel, Jerome, Seb. because you don't need to box, because you're going to keep the position anyway. You just see now, when you look at the penalties, 8 seconds Skyline, 3 seconds here, 3 for Canterbury, 6 for Keane, 3 for Turn Racer, Coolman and Elias respectively. So, whatever you do at this point, you're not going to gain much if anything, but with the tyres, you probably the best opportunity to do so. It is very much, for most drivers here, you're in a good position but you're not, or you're not in a good position but you are. Now you've got to think, do I have a penalties get removed? Terracer and Koolman apparently doing some swapping under safety car. And he's swapping back. So if we see, well, something like this could be so important to your season. At the moment, I think Skyline would be dropping out at a point here with that extra 5 seconds. We are not sure. It's 4. Have a look and see if we can track the 5 seconds. Speeding in pit lane for Mercedes. Ignoring yellow flag for Skyline, I think that's very much a removable penalty. We will be going this lap for sure, so that does mean we are going to get 3 laps of racing, and crucially 1 lap of DRS. We're going to get DRS down the Camel Straight, and then we're going to have probably just the minimum of it. Keane's just got a 5 for playing with Canterbury. Strange, but that's something that could be removed. That could be investigated afterwards, because any collision like that could have a huge impact on the race. Like the Keane now will be dropping out of points here provisionally because of that contact. At the moment, Canterbury is your championship leader by 4 points. Then from Philip, who was in Aston Martin, but we've only had 1 Aston Martin in the race and they're out. So we'll be gaining key. Well, now he DNF'd last week, and now he's 11 seconds of penalty, so not looking good for him. I think you can hope for it. Maybe someone spins here. So we are going. Gecko's got another restart to do, and have to hope maybe he can just pull a bit. Because Daniel now has an opportunity to try what he did last time, but maybe it'll be more successful. It's probably Keane or Drone who have the best opportunity here. Let's see for a championship with Keko opportunity to win this race. He's went, and you might see Sieb's had a mistake on the restart, and he's dropped a couple of places. This could be crucial. Sam's already got the move done, or has he? He's got the move done on Jerome. So now he in the mediums. This could be opportunity for Sam, who was initially on the very unfortunate strategy, but now you see Daniel. He's gaining and gaining and gaining. It's now less than a 10. He pulls alongside the left once again. Oh, he's forced him. Oh, that's Keko's absolutely forced Daniel off. He's broken onto the braking board, which, given this is no line, is going to be will not be looked carefully upon. He's now gone himself for 3 seconds, and now Sam is going to be all over. It's actually Skyline. Oh, Skyline's just falling down the order here. It's not good for him. Giroud's also falling down. Keane on the soft is making moves. He is doing some things that will help him mitigate these penalties. Sam, meanwhile, is going to be all over Daniel here. He would probably want to make this move as soon as possible. He could even make before Blanchimont if he gets the space and the run. You just see here, he pulls to the right, to the left, and will he be passed? Or will Daniel try to fight this one to Boschemall? No, he can't even do that. He's now going to have to defend from Keane. So he's trying to target one Ferrari, but now the other Ferrari is going to pass him so easily. As you just see the Red Bull, not for a minute, Red Bull, Terrace and Koolman really was going off-roading here at Spa. It's not a rally track, lads. You do not need to be going off-road. As the Eddie is keeping ahead of Terrace, and these soft runners, they need to focus on what's ahead, not what's right there. As you now see Keane. Keane's now in for the move with Sam. Sam here is going to inherit the win at the moment, but at the moment it's still a Ferrari 1-2 on track provisionally. Elliott now across Terrace, but Terrace off track. Elliott's got the move done now. So obviously, as to how Terrace got on track, that could be off track. That could be something of a note. As you see, comes between Skyline's race from pole to P. As Keane's dropped it. He's dropped it. And with no name. And well, that's race over. Race over. So now, Keko's going to watch here, because Sen is going to be loading up one final attack. But well, have these mediums just have the outright grip that can be provided to go after him using ERS. They're both using it. If Sen could nearly hold off here a little, as you see, it's just over the second. He might want to just push through. And now, just through the bus stop. One more lap. You might just make or break here, although Sen does know there is a 3-second penalty for Keko. That means he will have it provisionally at the very least. He doesn't have to risk it all. And this could be a result that really gives your season a boost. So now, up Eau Rouge, up Radillon. Will we see the Williams make any moves? Doesn't look like it's close enough. It's just holding back nearly. Maybe thinking, I could do this at the bus stop if I gain the time. As Jerome is past Daniel. Jerome with no penalty, so at the moment, oh, Daniel's getting very, very close. He might try something out of desperation here. He knows he's not going to go. Oh well, he could try slip down the inside. Oh, this become the outside now for no name. Well, inside prevails. It's Jerome who does keep the place. Sam not gaining enough on Keko to get this win outright, but he's still very happy. Jerome just needs to keep within the tree and he'll have a provisional P2. And that'll be to add to his P2 last week. There will be some very consistent results. Oh, Sieb's out of the race in the final lap. He's just crashed there. Yeah, completely out. Does mean Keane will guarantee himself a point and possibly fastest lap point, but I'd say that will be taken by one of the other soft runners. Let's see, Damsworth bus stop. Keko, he's so good. See it, Sam is so close. So Keko from third on the grid, he will take provisional win, but Sam from 6th, he will win provisional. Right. So actually, now Jerome did take P2 there. That is a very quick end to the race here with the safety car. We will show you the penalties afterwards. Well, a very, very chaotic race, but not this way. Still very, very enjoyable. Spa-Francorchamps is always a good track for racing. As always, there's almost guaranteed opportunity. So, Sam, we thought he was on the wrong strategy. It's turned out to be the completely right strategy for him. As not this way. It can't be too too bad when you're on the top step of the podium. That's the good strategy. Well, the winning strategy. So, Williams and Alfa Romeo 1 and 2. You wouldn't see that normally, but Sam and Jerome have done it. And I'd say Jerome, he hasn't took a win yet, but he will be at. So now, here's your race results. It is from 6th on the grid to victory. Despite staying out for that first safety car, it turned out to be a blessing in disguise, as he used them mediums to pretty much be right there and then take the win on penalties. Jerome P2, Keko P3 after penalties, and Daniel P4, Elliot P5, Tyrese P6, Carlsbury P7, Crewman P8, Skyline P9, King Police Point to P10. Seab classified but crashed out. Dan P12, so it was DNF1, and the other DNFs was H4, Nico, Yarno, Tronics, and Shell, Walkers, and Lewis. That's what you'd say. A bit chaotic. Right, but honestly, when things are so close, things can flare up. Too much friction can cause a fire, and in this case, too much battling can cause an accident. So, thank you all for watching. Make sure to tune in next week, where we will be driving at Mexico City. So, make sure to tune in for that, and thank you all for watching, and goodbye.